After an action-packed 3 days, the SOTIC State of the Industry Conference in Miami, Florida came to an eventful conclusion. The first day was dominated by the awards ceremony, which saw Tony Jacobs of Bazooka gaining honours, and then also Mary Beth Lane gaining a gold award. There were also honours for Sylvia Buxton of Perfetti Van Mel, which set the scene for the second day of the event, which saw a showcase keynote presentation from John Downs, the CEO and President of the National Confectioners Association, who in his opening address said the sector remains grateful to its large array of workforces around the US, including some 58,000 direct employees and a further 696,000 workers across wider supply chains who have played a pivotal role in driving industry forward in the region. As the President noted, he struck an upbeat tone for his presentation, in which he said that the industry keeps lifting higher and higher despite some of the background challenges facing the sector in the region. This upbeat tone was continued by the State of Treating report which followed, in which it was revealed that while chocolate consumption may have been down in the past year, some 98% of Americans have in fact bought some kind of confectionery in the past 12 months, which was an encouraging sign. Indeed, this was reflected in the headline figures of retail sales of $48 billion for the region for the past 12 months, which was $6 billion up from last year, which reflected strongly on a wider market which has historically shown a good deal of resilience. This was underlined by the segment figures this year, which showed that chocolate sales were $25.9 billion for the year, followed by non-chocolate, which was $19 billion, followed by $3.7 for the gum category. Another highlight for the second day came in the form of political commentator George Will, the Washington-based analyst, offered his thoughts on the state of the nation's politics, in which he described it as being a dysfunctional system, which was a sentiment that the CEO of the National Confectioners Association shared very wholeheartedly, expressing some deal of frustration about how to deal with issues of sugar being high in the US in terms of its costs, as well as cocoa prices being high, and he hoped for better times in terms of getting some political traction on key issues facing the industry. Furthermore, in the afternoon there were two further highlights, which came in the form of a dual session dedicated to the potential for AI to make a major impact within industry. The first of these came from Paul Tapfenhart of Google Cloud, who looked at how industry was already utilising AI within things like customer relations within a business, as well as looking at how it also might transform ordering services for a company, as well as additional back-end areas such as HR matters, which may well potentially benefit from AI too. The second session came courtesy of Connor Grennan, a generative AI specialist who looked at how creating personalised shopping patterns could well indeed benefit from AI as well, and he looked at the visual aspects of AI, which is particularly notable, as well as making some pretty bold assertions that personal productivity could also stand to gain significantly from the enhanced use of AI. For our third day at SOTIC, the events got off to a left field start with the great keynote presentation from Marcus Luttrell, the former Navy SEAL whose story became a Hollywood movie as well as best-selling book as well. And amidst all the colourful tales from his amazing career, his core message was very much one of, no matter what background you're from, having a great attitude is the most important thing in life. From there, we were brought back to the statistical world for the confectionery sector, in which the Sakana research group looked at the performance of the market over the past year. And while it's acknowledged that figures have not been that encouraging during the past 12 months, the market was still up to $48 billion, as we'd already said, but consumers appeared more cautious due to the ongoing cost of living crisis. But despite this, the research group believed that with some collective and careful action, there were positive times ahead for the industry. Among some of the key highlights for the afternoon sessions was one dedicated to how industry can support women in the workplace better, and how working parents can gain greater satisfaction from their environment and businesses can work harder to support them. And finally, the conference was brought down in very fitting fashion by the mentalist Oz Perlman, who offered some reflections on the power of perception. which dazzled the audience before him and had everybody on their feet by the end of the show, which paved the way very nicely to a finale at the Tidal Cove, in which everyone chilled out and reflected on what had been a truly amazing few days in Miami.